Hi, it's nice to meet you if you're new here, but if you're not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Jo, and this is my cozy corner of the internet. I am a game dev student, an artist, and a book lover. I hope that you enjoy some gentle music while I take you through a cozy fall day in my life. I really enjoy pairing these videos with discussion about various topics, so I hope that you find this video relatable. Today I'm going to be talking about loneliness and pushing through the uncomfortableness of being alone. Loneliness is often defined as a state of solitude or being alone. However, loneliness is more of a state of mind. It can cause one to feel empty, alone, and unwanted. You tend to crave human contact, but it's difficult to form connections and friendships with others. I find this especially true as an adult. Loneliness doesn't always mean that you are genuinely alone. Sometimes you can have connections in your life and still feel lonely. This is based on the authenticity and quality of the relationships in your life and of the people you surround yourself with. Sometimes we never feel truly seen, and that poses a different kind of loneliness. Ask yourself, why do you feel lonely? Do you feel lonely because you don't have connections in your life? Are your connections lackluster or toxic to your well-being? It can be really scary to explore why we feel lonely because loneliness is a really scary feeling. However, taking a deeper dive into what the cause is of this state of mind can help you in figuring out how to take steps towards feeling less lonely. Maybe that's through setting more boundaries with the people in your life who don't serve you, who don't see you, and who don't help you want to be a better person. Maybe it's really putting yourself outside of your comfort zone and trying to make new connections. I found making friends as an adult extremely difficult. There's so much pressure from society and from ourselves to be a certain way around others. It's often hard for us to be ourselves around others when forming new connections because it really forces us to be in a vulnerable state. A big factor in loneliness is comparing yourself to others. I've touched on this in my starting over in my 20s video, but I cannot stress how terrible comparing yourself to others is for your mental well-being. I know I've done it and that we're all victims of it. It's so easy to compare ourselves to others that we perceive as quote-unquote successful, or to others that are in a similar stage of life as us, or comparing ourselves to wanting what others have. We never take the time to appreciate and show gratitude towards what we have right in front of us, which causes this negative comparison. Instead of using it as a motivation towards working towards our goals and aspirations, we use comparison for negative self-talk to doubt ourselves and put ourselves down. Oh, that person is the same age as me and look at how much more they have, or how much better they're doing in life compared to me. I always try to remind myself when I find myself going down this path of negative self-talk that people only post on social media what they want other people to see. It's a very, very narrow scope of their life in which you are viewing. Their life isn't perfect, like yours isn't, like mine isn't, or anybody else's. They're only showing the small moments in their life that are good. Life is all about those ups and downs, and not many people want to see the downs, so people tend to only show the ups. But life comprises of both, and sometimes life comprises of more downs than ups. And that's okay. It's learning to work through those emotions and be a good support system, not only for yourself, but surrounding yourself with a good support system to get through those moments. Sometimes we meet someone we really like, but that person then rejects us and we begin to feel lonely. Our situation hasn't changed, but now we're aware that we are lacking something that we wanted. And then we compare ourselves to others who now have what we crave. Until you get comfortable with being alone, you'll never know if you're choosing someone out of love or out of loneliness. Journaling every morning has really helped me stop the negative self-talk and self-doubt by appreciating what I'm grateful for in my life in every given moment. I also like to journal about the goals I want to achieve so that I have something to look forward to and motivate myself to work towards. Everything is just one little step at a time. I'm alone and feel lonely, I easily feel overwhelmed. It's hard to reframe your thinking and what to say to yourself when you are constantly in that negative self-talk mindset. It's also hard for us as humans to be left alone with our thoughts. We know ourselves best and we're constantly with ourselves. We are our own worst critic, and it's hard for us to be alone for extended periods of time because our minds can easily slip down some dark paths. I find this especially true when I go through major transitions in my life. I recently just quit my job, severing that major source of socialization. I moved from my parents and living with others back into my apartment where I live by myself. And it's been a lot of change recently. I've found it extremely hard to transition into being alone most of the time. You get sucked into a void of feeling overwhelmed, and it can be all-consuming. I've been attempting to implement better self-care strategies to help keep me motivated and intentionally setting time to spend with the healthy social connections that I've made in my life. It's so important to give yourself grace and also give yourself time through these moments in your life. We live in a society and a culture where we're constantly told we need to work and grind to achieve success. And while I do believe success only comes from extremely hard work and some sacrifice, I also think that this only happens and needs to be balanced when you take adequate rest and breaks. Your emotional well-being needs those in order to perform successfully, especially as an artist and a creative. The hardest part of loneliness is learning to be comfortable with being lonely. This is a massive obstacle I still work on every day to overcome. Learning to befriend solitude and get comfortable with the uncomfortable feeling of it. To be able to sit with it, to have a conversation with it, to see what it has to say and what you learn from it. You can start to get to know yourself from a brand new perspective. It's almost like getting to know this new person. When you get comfortable with loneliness and solitude, it can become your best friend. When there is no one else around you, you can lean on it for comfort and support. It can teach you how to write, to read, to think, and to know what's good for yourself. It can teach you how to love everyone unconditionally and to be kind, not only to others, but to yourself as well. It can show you things as they truly are, and it can catch you when you're being judgmental of yourself and others. When you nurture loneliness properly, it can take away your anger, your desperation, and other negative feelings instead of bringing them. It carries your dreams, and it can fill you with hope. It is a long and painful journey, but solitude has the power to teach us about ourselves, and there's something really empowering about that. One of the reasons that I love reading is that it transports us into another world. It allows us to escape for a little bit, and it allows us to be comfortable being alone in our minds, set in a different world. It allows us to think differently and give us a different perspective on life. This hobby has really helped me through my loneliness in the last little while, which is why I've started turning all of my content into book-related content. I think that reading helps people so much mentally. I thought it was fitting to end this video with a quote from the book White Oleander by American author Janet Fitch. "Loneliness is the human condition. Cultivate it. The way it tunnels into you allows your soul room to grow. Never expect to outgrow loneliness. Never hope to find people who will understand you, someone to fill that space. An intelligent, sensitive person is the exception, the very great exception. If you expect to find people who will understand you, you will grow murderers with disappointment. The best you'll ever do is to understand yourself, know what it is you want, and not let the cattle stand in your way." I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video to help support me. Let me know in the comments other topics you'd be interested in me touching on in future videos. Leave a ghost emoji in the comments if you made it this far. Thank you for being a part of my journey, and I'll see you next time.